Right then, this is a walk-around video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX automatic diesel. This car's 14 plate, covered just 65,000 miles. Benefits from a few options which look lovely on the car, notably obviously the silver metallic paint. You've got the side steps and the high-level rear spoiler, all of which add up to give it a really nice stance. It's always subtle on these CR-Vs, but it looks absolutely superb. The car is in fantastic condition, I have to say. Lights and lenses are clear, intact. There's no cracks or condensation in those at all. Bonnets, hardly a stone chip anywhere on there at all. Near side of the vehicle, lovely and smooth in the panel work. Absolutely pristine down there that I can see. Near side front alloy, again, really good condition. Near side rear alloy, again, absolutely super. And my favourite angle when they got the side steps and spoilers, this rear 3/4 angle. It just gives the car real substance, it really does. As I said, it's very subtly done as well. Around the back of the car, again, it's absolutely fantastic condition. Offside, driver's side, again, like mirror smooth on the panels. Offside rear alloy, again, no obvious marks on there. And final alloy, again, in absolutely super condition. It really is. It's in the car that's now 6-7 years old, 7-8 years old actually. I mean, that's in beautiful condition. Let's come into the back of the car. Massive boots, and CR-Vs are normally very heavily used family cars, so the back here where the seats are can be really heavily marked, but this is in absolutely beautiful condition, helped by obviously a nice earn of ownership. This load liner here, lift that up, and the carpeted area underneath looks absolutely like new. Let's come into the back of the car now. Enormous amounts of leg room, and I'm not cheating because those front seats are set for me and I'm over 6 foot tall. As I said, with the rear seats here are normally incredibly heavily used. These look in super condition. It's coming in the front on the passenger side, again, all in beautiful condition. Finally come to the driver's door card. Surprise, surprise, absolutely beautiful. Footwell area is lovely and clean, and the driver's seat, the one that should show a lot of wear, shows virtually nothing. It's incredibly clean. So inside the car now, engine's running as always, so the dash can be seen illuminated. Sorry, it's going to be a bit later in the day, so it might be a little bit grainy. Dashboard looks absolutely like new. It's incredibly clean. Sat nav works perfectly. Pop the car into reverse. Get that lovely clear gridded parking camera, all working exactly as intended. You can, if stationary with handbrake on, put films on there as well, just put DVDs in. It is incredibly clean. You can see there, 65,116 miles. No warning lights on the dashboard at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual, pack and lock and wheel nut key are both here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V. It's a 2.2 EX automatic diesel. This particular car is registered SM14JFZ, and with a mileage of 65,109 miles recorded. The reason we do our videos, and especially this road test section, is to ensure basically that everyone gets to see the cars we're advertising in operation. The reason we feel it's important is basically because we know to our cost just how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which can look perfectly good in photographs and description, but only to get there and find out it's got a fundamental issue that shows up whilst driving the car, so hence that's why we do it. Also done on these very nice quiet country roads very close to our premises. Hopefully then it'd be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, EX models, you've got a push button start for the engine. The engine starts immediately and settles to completely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car, and temperature gauge is running as a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be at full operating temperature. The engines are simply wonderful diesel engines. I've got exactly this car. My wife and I own a diesel automatic CRV, so we're a bit of a busman's holiday driving it, in all honesty. And it drives exactly like ours done. Engine's sweet, smooth, quiet at a cruise. It pulls from very low revs and all the way through its rev range. Because unlike a lot of diesels where they can be completely one-trick ponies, especially the low capacity ones, they give good headline horsepower figures, but that's only half the tale, because basically they can have quite a lot of turbo lag. Then they go like incredibly quickly for a very short period of time, then die away just as quickly, which is something I hate in diesels. But this has got a broad spread of power that goes all the way through the rev band, and it's all usable. But yeah, wonderful engine then feeds through into the auto gearbox, as you'd expect of any Honda gearbox, lovely and smooth and slick in the gear changes, well chosen ratios to get the best out of the gearbox in terms of the engine, in terms of economy and performance. Like the engine, very robust, long-lasting, but notwithstanding its reputation for being incredibly tough and reliable, you should still do the obvious checks on any auto box, and that's just basically, especially when they're warm, just put it into drive and reverse from stationary, just see if there's any sort of clunks or delays in engagements, but also on the move the gear changes should be smooth, and they're perfect in that sense with the car. Let's come to the steering and chassis of the car. Steering's brilliant on these CRVs. The whole experience is incredibly car-like. Some SUVs, especially this era, can feel just like driving a commercial van. This is completely the opposite. Steering's beautifully weighted, exactly what you'd hope for in this kind of car. It's accurate and precise. It's very, very confidence-inspiring at all speeds. It also tracks absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. The chassis of the car again works beautifully with the steering because it flows through corners really nicely, and it isn't to say in any way it's a sports car, because it is not. It does beg a belief that you get some of the motor pressing, it's not that enjoyable to drive. It's, well, do you know what, I don't suppose it is. It drives beautifully, it drives really nicely. But if you're an enthusiastic driver that wants to go hurtling around corners, it's not the car for you, in all honesty. What it does brilliantly, and that's to ferry passengers and family around safely, comfortably. And because comfort's a very subjective thing, this gives you a very compliant, beautifully damped ride, which basically is means it can go through corners as well without kind of pitching and wallowing, got lots of motion. Because lots of cars can feel, and I've driven a few which can feel beautifully smooth until you show them corners, and then they loll up about and they're very nauseating to drive, particularly for rear seat passengers, and this just strikes a brilliant balance. It also exhibits absolutely no clonks or rattles coming from under the suspension at all feels incredibly solid on the road. This chap's going to pull in. It's going to be my way, unfortunately. I mean, Honda should know how these, should drive, because the CRV is the best-selling SUV in the world. So clearly, they obviously know their market really rather well. I wanted to do a bit of a brake test, but I want to go a little bit quicker than this, so I'll have to hope that the van in front decides to pull off at some stage as well. I'll get this out of the way. Whilst I'm talking about it, this is a four-wheel drive version of the CRV, by the way, but there are no buttons to press. Honda again worked out incredibly quickly that the vast majority of its drivers would be driving as I am today in perfectly good conditions where you don't need four-wheel drive on. Because the problem with permanent four-wheel drive is, by definition, it's active the whole time, which means you're going to get through your tyres more quickly. You're certainly going to use more fuel, and you put more mechanical stress through the vehicle. Whereas this, basically, it's brilliant, because basically it senses when the front wheels start to lose grip, because it runs in front wheel drive pretty much the whole time, the most efficient way to pull a car along. If the front wheel starts to lose grip, it instantly brings in the rear wheels to give you four-wheel drive, a bit like someone giving you a shove in the back. It's brilliant. And as I say, you know, we tow a caravan with ours and we've never come close to getting stuck with it. It's a really, really good system. Its simplicity, by the way, also gives it its reliability, because we've never so much as put a spanner on a four-wheel drive system of a Honda using this in nearly 30 years selling them, so it is robust indeed. So up to speed now, just give the brakes a bit of a shove. Now the fan's out of the way, get up to the legal limit, 60. Good shove, really, really good. Hard enough to get the ABS to kick in. All perfect. No pulsing, no vibrations, and no really good, solid, powerful pedal rather. So all fine there. So coming to the interior, we've not cleaned this car yet. It's literally just arrived. Having said that, it's not going to need an awful lot because it's very, very clean in here, I have to say. And as with all Hondas, beautifully put together. It's also a lovely car to sit in and drive. It gives you what all SUVs gives you, which is a wonderful view of the road, being high up. But it's got a much airier feeling inside than lots of them. You can feel actually slightly cocooned in some. This, I can actually see the end of a bonnet, which is a minor miracle. You've got these massive wing mirrors, which gives me brilliant visibility. I've seen cars coming up over my shoulder and reversing. The whole feeling is just that you feel in control of the car, which is why people love them, absolutely love them. And you've got a very heavily equipped dashboard, but one that's within a day or two of driving becomes second nature really quickly. Sat nav, as you can see, working perfectly there. You've got a dual zone climate control system, which gives you the option of having different temperatures side to side on the car. That blows out lovely cold air, because the first thing we did was checking it in the workshop earlier on. A nice warm workshop, comes out lovely and cold. Heated seats again, low and high settings, all working exactly as they should. There's a fuel light just popped on. Dash in front, lovely, simple, legible dials, minimal information in lots of ways, which is perfect because that's all information you need is there and easy to take in. And then you've got this lovely leather-bound steering wheel, which feels absolutely like new in hand. Nice diameter as well, makes the car feel sort of nice. It's like just this car-like theme sort of keeps coming across rather than big truck-like steering wheels, which some manufacturers give you. But it, you know, we know these cars very well. I have one. It drives exactly like mine, which drives perfectly. I can't fault it in any way. If you've got any questions though, don't hesitate to give us a call.